It's the final day of the USL regular season, and we are coming to you from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Goodman Stadium on the campus of Lehigh University. Bethlehem Steel getting set to host St. Louis FC, and this Steel squad already know they will be playing next week in the playoffs. The question is, who? Right now, they are in there in the 8th spot. If they win this game, though, they will have a tiebreak. They can get as high as 6th. In that instance, they would play Tampa Bay. Where they're at right now, they will be playing Louisville FC, the top seed in the Eastern Conference. Alongside Albert Munoz, I am Dallin Cuff. Now, this Bethlehem team, will talk a lot about them going forward, but St. Louis is a team that's outside of the playoff picture. They're sitting here trying to find a way to finish this season on a high note, and Octavio Guzman will have to be critical to do that.
Absolutely, Dallin. I mean, when you think of versatility, this is the type of player that you want on your team. I mean, he's been strong all season. He's not a huge stat guy, we were mentioning it, but he's the type of player that you want constantly playing in different positions and filling that void that you have sometimes with injuries and missing players. So he's absolutely a stellar player to watch, and hopefully he'll make a difference tonight.
And another difference maker for Bethlehem is Santi Moar. 6 goals, 6 assists. This guy can score and create. He's dynamic.
He's absolutely he's speedy. He's technical. I mean, he's an entertaining player to watch. He's had several goals, 6 in the season, and he's also an assist man, which is makes him a complete attacking player. It's interesting to see what he brings tonight.
And this is going to be an interesting lineup we're about to see here from Preki, the former U.S. player, legend. It rolls out a rather young crew. His son, Nick, will be playing on the left wing. You've got Aiden Stanley, a 17-year-old. He's really trying it out in this last time out. Absolutely.
I mean, he's forward-thinking. We were mentioning it. He's most likely going to be thinking for the next season, and what he's going to do is going to let a lot of young players get an opportunity, and he's also going to just keep the momentum going so he could maybe hit the ground running next season.
And let's take a look at Brendan Burke's lineup for this Bethlehem Steel team. He told me in the weekend, told us that this is a game they really want to win. They're already in. They knew that, but he says they need to build momentum, so he's got one of his best lineups out there.
Well, that's a winning mentality. I mean, you're going to want that constantly, and he's going to keep rotating players, but at the same time, he's going to depend on his Santi Moore and Aronson in the middle and Nanko out wide, and these creative players really link up with Burke up top.
I know he's excited, Brendan Burke is, about the 16-year-old Aronson in the middle. We'll all be watching. It'll be fun to see the teenager operate in that 10 spot. We'll be back here from Goodman Stadium with kickoff after the break, the final day of the USL season.
What's sweeter than playing Mother's Day with top prizes of $50,000? How about winning on the spot? Play Mother's Day, the new scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery, and you could win on the spot. Keep on scratching.
My new garage door is so quiet. I love it.
They had a big selection and the price was great.
People can't help talking about their garage doors from ABE. We install only the best products from the names you trust, with unbeatable insulation and safety features, extended warranties, and the region's largest selection, perfect for every home.
I would definitely recommend ABE to anyone.
It's easy to see why they've been around for 40 years.
Garage doors from ABE Doors and Windows, for over 40 years on Route 222 in Allentown.
His shot, and that's by Rafi Diaz, and in. Takes another shot on goal. It goes in. Bethlehem on the board.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Back here at Goodman Stadium, the campus of Lehigh University, the Steel getting set to host St. Louis FC alongside Albert Munoz. I'm Dallin Cuff, and this is a game that we already know Bethlehem is in the playoffs. The question is how high they can go. Let's take a look at the coaches on your left. Brendan Burke, his 2nd year, and he leads the Steel to their first playoff appearance in the modern era. And on the right, Preki, a former legend as a player and had a great coaching career, won a championship in MLS in 2000. He was Coach of the Year in MLS in 2007. And, of course, he won the title here as coach at Sacramento in USL back in 14. As we're getting ready to go here, in the blue, you have your Bethlehem Steel, and in the white, St. Louis FC. Guzman to play along. Albert Munoz, what should we be looking for early in this game?
Well, possession is going to be key. I mean, both teams want to actually hold the ball and create immediately. They want to make an impact. I know Bethlehem wants to, continue that momentum they've had, and they want to win this game. So it's on them to really get an opportunity in the first few seconds.
Bethlehem coming off a 1-0 loss at Rochester, but to your point before that, they went 6 straight unbeaten, and then early opportunity possibly down the left side here as St. Louis FC makes their way into attacking third. So Brennan Berg's crew had a lot of going for them as David tees one up from distance, but that is way wide. A lot going for before that loss at Rochester. He wants to right the ship, as you mentioned. Very important for his team. He feels a young team to be building going into the playoffs. Not so much for seed. He wants performance here. He wants 3 points for a performance to get them feeling good, regardless of who that means they will play next week. That's
very important. I mean, not only winning the game, but you actually want to, continue playing well. You want this formation to work, and you want the strategy to be implemented. Individualities will always be there, but it's very important to go into playoffs with the mindset that you have to know how your team's going to play with the next couple of games.
James Chambers called for the foul. One of the elder statesmen on this team, 30 years old. The only guy 30-plus that sees minutes on this Bethlehem team in his second season. This is his 27th appearance, but Brennan Burke was telling me he's been critical just to teach these young guys how to play, how to be professionals. Great steal by Burke as the goal scored looks to go the other way.
Well, firstly, a 30-year-old veteran, that makes me feel so old. But
you
yeah,
and me both, my friend.
I know. Tell me about it. But essentially, if you have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old in the field, you have a 30-year-old next to you, that's going to just be priceless. You're going to learn so much from experience and leadership from the old veterans.
Ball played out long, and on the middle, on the ball here is Adam Najim as he springs it out to Aaron Jones, who's up for Rookie of the Year. Jones has a tremendous year in that right back spot. Quick feet there. Ball sprayed out to Chris Nanko. Nanko looking to go one-on-one. Skip past the defender. Aiden Stanley, 17-year-old in his own right, but foul called on Nanko.
Looking at this St. Louis team, they have plenty of players that are constantly shuffling positions. We mentioned in the pregame, David and also our player to watch, Guzman. They're constantly rotating. I mean, you have out wide defender play, and then you obviously see David up top and scoring goals in the last goal. Actually, the last game they played a couple months ago. But it's great to see their versatility. I mean, it's interesting to see how they'll play out for the next season. I believe they'll take the momentum they have with the younger players mixed in with the veterans. And Preki will definitely have more vision for next season.
Speaking of vision, good vision here to find Nanko streaking down the right side. Stops, pulls it back, looking for Burke, but deflected in the middle. But then dug out again by Santi Moar, who we talked about, as you mentioned, off the top of the show, 38 in blue. And here's Guzman. Good tackle, but a lot of contact by Aaron Jones on his head as he went in there. See him holding the back of his head.
I would say this is kind of a tricky situation for both these teams because Bethlehem is obviously in the playoffs, and they have to obviously make sure they're injury preventative. So they want to make sure they play well but safe at the same time. But how can you really do that in the sport? I mean, you have to play all hard and all in at all times. If not, you most likely will get injured. But at the same time, you have the mindset, hey, it's time to play well, but at the same time, let's go try to get some goals in and lock this game in. But on St. Louis's side, it's more about pride, right? It's about momentum going into the next season. So they have their own battles. And hopefully this level will maintain the rest of the game because, at all costs, they have to win. Each of them should win, one for pride and one for points.
A good point with St. Louis as you're looking forward to next year. Preki in his first year at the helm here brought a number of guys over from Sacramento trying to rekindle what they won there in 2014, but also trying to find some younger players, find some new players and new blood here in St. Louis. So, it's every opportunity, a chance to step on the field is a chance to get better as a player and as a team, and he's trying to take advantage of that.
Sure. And wouldn't you agree it's more like a 2 or 3 year plan as opposed to just 1 year? I mean, in soccer, in any sport, I mean, he came in, like you said, last year, and he did a lot in the team. He's a very well-versed and experienced coach. He has to bring a lot to the table, so he needs time. He needs someone really to allow him to really build a team around him and his experience and the veteran players.
Absolutely. Jackson tried to lay it off, but laid it out to Burke. And Aronson, the 16-year-old, excuse me, goes in, cleats up. Trying to get an ID on who's down right now, and that is Mir Ali Hadzic went down. He's rolling around in quite a bit of pain. Take a look at the replay.
Seemed like a late tackle. I mean, he went for the ball, Aronson, but he did connect him on the ankle on the second hit. So I don't think it was an ill intention. It seemed like he went for the ball, but he did get the bad end of it.
And we do not to see if Greg Dobka has issued a card here for this. Should there have been a yellow there?
I don't think it was necessary. I mean, maybe to you know.
There
it is actually. There you go. I mean, the referee made the decision. I mean, it's good to get a yellow card right in the beginning of the game to really, you know, set the pace of the game and show some respect for the players.
And the 16-year-old goes into the book. His fifth appearance of the season, only second start. And now you got a 16-year-old playing. You worry about him carrying a yellow for the next 84 minutes.
I'm not worried about that. I was just gonna say that's incredible. He's a 16-year-old starting in the USL. I mean, come on, typical age 18, 20, 25 for a 16-year-old. That's absolutely, and he's leaps and bounds improved in this season because I saw him play in one of his first. Actually, I saw him in his debut, and he had great touches on the ball, but his confidence wasn't there naturally. But starting the game just propels you to the next level at this point.
Ball played in, a little bit short. Chambers gets a leg to it, and Gorick will come out and claim it. Excuse me, McGuire will come out and claim it. And Brendan Burke was really excited about Aronson, just talking about how much he's progressed, to your point, how much he's gotten better, his confidence has grown. Also mentioned Michael Pellegrino, another teenager that's in this lineup. One of quite a few, and this young team has performed. And when they needed results down the stretch, they were on the outside looking in the playoff picture, but that 6-game unbeaten streak got them results on the road in Louisville, on the road at Tampa Bay, getting results and finding a way to get into the playoffs.
No, they're definitely playing well, but note to these young players, the fact that they're playing, and it's only been months since their debut, and they've improved vastly, it just comes to show what their potential is going to be in the next couple of years in this league.
And now here's a potential opportunity as Dobka calls for a free kick about 20. I don't know if it helps or hurts when I have the yard markers on here because you try to do too much, try to get too exact. We'll say it's about 25 yards out.
I'm not a fan of it, but it's a little too cluttered in my taste.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's a fan of it. But unfortunately, this is the situation. It is what it is, and you see it at all levels in the States in soccer.
But to that point, it has improved where you have soccer-specific stadiums, and obviously the whole movement, you know, U.S. soccer and obviously all these leagues, everything from high school, college, USL, MLS, all levels, you're seeing a progression when it comes to the soccer-specific mentality, which is, hey, we need to develop, we need to increase and improve our talent.
Jones tees it up and takes it. Gorick spilled it, but he was under control. But your point is well taken. There has been quite a push at all levels for soccer-specific stadiums, and they've put beautiful facilities at all different levels and really are investing in, to your point, player development, facility development, and growing the sport in the country overall. And it's, let's say, we've all seen the progress. Unfortunately, on our senior team, we took a step back this week. But other than that, we've seen progress.
Yeah, we briefly discussed it in pregame. I mean, this is such a sore subject at the moment, but it needs to be discussed, and it will definitely affect our national team program moving forward. But, hey, to address the fact we didn't qualify, everyone gets affected. Everything from the youth system all the way to all the levels, professional levels, the senior team, the staff, everyone, us broadcasters, I mean, everyone involved in the game, in the U.S. national team picture, there has to be a big change.
Big change is needed. We need about an hour show to go through all that as a foul is called there. And looks like Real is down with a little shot to the head. We could easily go on for quite some time about the changes. I think both of us feel that U.S. soccer needs to go through, but We don't have time for that. I want to stay focused on the game here. We all just agree that there needs some change. And there's Precky's son, Nick Radislavich, came in a little late and clipped Real, and almost a turnover right there.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, Dallin, you're whenever you have chaos, you're going to have an opportunity, right?
Here's an opportunity. Oh, no, Burke, we're going to call for a foul there.
You have an opportunity to improve. So all these players that are watching and playing at the USL level, this is an opportunity for them to get better and to show their talents for the next World Cup. Even if it's years from now, right? They get the opportunity. Everyone has a chance. Every single game is different. Every single person has a opportunity to come in and make a difference whenever they get into the field.
Manuel Appia came in a little late. Ghanaian-born winger came in a little late on Aaron Jones. Foul called by Dabka. Played over to Austin Trusty. 6'3" center back from Media, Pennsylvania. He looks to just dink it over the top to a running on Real. Guzman recovers and plays it into touch.
Pretty even 10 minutes so far, I'd say, Dallin. Possession-wise, I mean, both teams are trying to get to the end, trying to get some kind of shots on goal, get the youngsters get on the ball and correct those mistakes. But it seems like the game's going to be very, very conservative. You know, but for both teams, really is no need to really risk too much. But Bethlehem, with their momentum and their mindset is to win the game, they really need to maybe step up with the youngsters and get some shots on goal.
St. Louis has had trouble scoring this year, only 34 goals in the year. It's bottom 10 in USL as Aronson brings it down and looks to create, plays it back to Chambers. Najim on the ball, bumped off, no call, and Appia goes the other way. Looking for Jackson making the run ahead. Radislavich on the wing with space to cross, opts not to, plays it back to Appia. Appia plays it into the feet of Dalgard. Back out to the younger Precky.
We were both discussing this is the first time we see Precky's son on the pitch. I mean, at least first game we see and we call.
This is his first appearance, making his debut.
Always got to wonder how it is to grow up in a household with a legend as a father.
Can't be easy, let's just say that. He's had an interesting journey playing in college in North Carolina, small college there, then part of the Chivas USA Academy as a youngster.
It's got to be a lot of pressure.
For sure. Now Manco on the wing. Closed down nicely by Stanley and Cabocetta.
Precky seems to be that very driven father, coach. I'm sure he pushes his son to really try to get to that next level. So the fact that he's playing professional, I mean, it has to come to show that he did really guide him well as a youth.
Dalgard cleaned out by Jones. Jones says he got the ball. Dabka said things otherwise.
USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's great to see, obviously, the momentum and emphasis on the hard tackles shown here by Bethlehem. I mean, they really want to win today. I mean, it would make all the sense in the world to not want to play the first-seeded Louisville. That team's on fire. They're doing really well. So it benefits them to really try to get these 3 points so they will have a little bit of a slighter, better chance to really continue in the playoffs, if you ask me.
Louisville's been dynamic all year long. Bunch of goal scorers on that team playing at home. Tough team to beat for sure. But bear in mind, Bethlehem did walk down there last month and walk out with a 1-1 draw. They have some confidence going and playing there. Ball pinged long, looking for Mawar. Tons of space. Good touch out in front. He's got to have a chance. Tries to cut it back onto his right. Tries to clip it to Burke. And in the end, doesn't get a shot off. Should he have been more aggressive and take that to his left and get a shot?
Absolutely. A little difficult decision there. He faltered on being quicker with the shot. He had a great first touch, like you mentioned, and he really could have taken that shot with the left foot, but he opted out to cut it with the right and try to. It seemed like he tried to chip it over to Burke, but it just didn't happen. Hopefully he'll get another chance in this first half. That was a pretty clear chance for him to get a shot off.
It was a good ball played out of the back and a good run, but then decision-making let him down in the end. Burke, though, might be able to run onto this. Great speed, gets the right shot off, and it's just wide of the post. Was it tipped by Gorick? No, it was not.
That was just a pure miss here by Burke. I mean, he had a clear goal opportunity to capitalize in the first 14 minutes.
Second leading scorer on this team behind Sekou Kone. Burke has tallied 9 times this year. Thought it was going to be 10 right here.
That's frustrating. These are the moments you have to capitalize on these goals. He had a clear goal opportunity here. I just missed.
Just wide now. Another turnover in a dangerous spot here by St. Louis. Back-to-back turnovers in a bad spot. Najim picks it up. Lays it off for Chambers. Chambers to Nanko. And Nanko tried to thread it through, but it was cut out. Back on the ball. Winning it fast again. Or the steal. Trusty switches it out to Nanko. Nanko able to get a touch on it to keep it in play.
I'm noticing a good few minutes of possession here by Bethlehem. This is what they want. This is how you get confidence. Get the center midfields involved to create. Aronson is pivotal. He needs to get the ball constantly to really start creating these 1-2 go-to plays to get these shots off.
Aronson makes the run. Nanko plays it to him. Nice move to get back end line, but then good defense by Pleva, I believe that was, knocking it out of play.
That is a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
He looks 12, but he is confident and he's making his moves. I love it.
First corner of the match. Jones over the ball, but Moir is short there. Moir exits. Jones whips it in. The outswinger. Nicely played out by Tyler David. Nice turn by Moir. Moir plays it out wide, back to Jones again. He goes back, deflects to Chambers. Chambers steps up on the ball, gonna get a shot off, but right to Gorick. He actually had the game winner when these two teams met earlier this year. A 2-1, a rocket from outside the box. It gave them the 2-1 W. Burke is down for a second holding his face. He's up now, though.
So far, there's a lot of pressure here from Bethlehem. They've had several opportunities in the last few minutes. They're really putting the pressure on St. Louis to defend.
Tyler David. He tried to play it out wide, but left it short. But Appia fights hard for the ball, able to keep it. Dopka waves play on, and Stanley was cleared out.
I feel like St. Louis is far weighted to the left. They need to open up on the right-hand side. I know Guzman usually pushes up on the flank. You see here on the right hand, but they didn't get to the ball quickly to capitalize on that surprise.
Moir is able to touch it past Cabelceta into space. Plays it up to Burke. Burke gives it a drive. Good save by the keeper, Gorick, but it's still in play. Chased down and knocked out by Aiden Stanley.
Tell you what, if Gorick hadn't put his hand on that, that looked like it was a nice little pocket goal there. Good chance here by Burke. And beautiful ball by Moir. Through ball, left-footed. Oh, that might have hit the post, but that could have easily hit the post and gone inside.
Preki can't be happy with some of the defending right there. It was just a long ball played out from the keeper over Cabelceta's head, essentially, and then allowed an opportunity.
A little too easy, right? I mean, they need to really hunker down on the defense. It's been 4 shots, 3-4 shots in the last few minutes. One's bound to come in.
Aaron Jones, 23-year-old Rookie of the Year candidate. Goes long throw in. Looking for Trusty there, couldn't quite get it. Nanko holding off Pleva. Nanko still on it, runs into more trouble. He still skips past it, Stanley, and then his cross leaves a lot to be desired.
Good aggressive play here by Nanko, but unfortunately, a little overbearing on that cross. That's what you want from your attackers, though, and you want persistence, and the dribbling is there, the skill set's there. I mean, he needs to partner up a little bit more with Aronson in the midfield and Burke up top, a little bit more and give and go action.
Contact, and Capelcetta struggling, trying to get back to his feet. Aronson's on the ball now, but stamped out by David. Moar, good recovery. Appeals for a handball there by Guzman, but not given by Dobka, the official. Chambers pressing hard again, forces a turnover, and then a foul committed by Guzman.
That's what I love about Guzman. He will fight to the end. I mean, he's been stellar all week. All season. I mean, he's the type of player that really made a difference for his team. It's one of those players that needs more support throughout the season. But he is definitely one of the core players that you build a team around for the next season.
30 years old, veteran of English clubs, British clubs for 12 years. Jones over this one now again. Plays it short to Chambers, back to Jones. Jones to Moar. Moar's first touch was poor, second was good. Really working Radosljevic on the wing there.
Skills on skills there.
Good recovery by the younger Preki.
Actually, he runs like his dad. Now I noticed him.
Jones drives it back to Real. Real will tee it up. Headed out by David, then popped back in towards Moar. I mean, Suze Jones was able to get there, but he was off. Excuse me, was not able to get there. Went across the line for a goal kick. Appia battling hard, tried the back heel. Back heel almost came off. Chambers one-touch pass. Burke comes back from an offside position. What do you want to see St. Louis do differently here to get themselves kind of more of a foothold in this game?
I was just thinking about that. They definitely need to grab the ball first. They need possession. They need to really, really defend well and build from the back. They have good midfielders that know how to hold and possess, and you know, David and Guzman, they're possession players. But I feel like they're lacking that attacking spark, that attacking midfielder. Maybe that's someone that could really, you know, create something on his own individually and then maybe get some shots off. But I would really like to see them hold the ball a little bit more.
Trusty floats it, looking long for Burke. Burke drifted offside before that went up anyway. Wayward pass by Appia, unforced turnover. Stanley couldn't get there.
Hey fans, we are looking for some.
So definitely the moments where Preki comes in and you know, hollers at his captain and a couple of players, and they really try to get together and hey, grab the ball. Let's calm down. Let's be patient. Let's really stop chasing and really hunker down on our strategy, which is play out wide, Guzman, get him across in, and look for any forward that comes in and any trailing midfielder to possibly get a shot on.
Great flick on header by Moar, and Real looked like he had a chance. There was some contact, but no call. If you're Brendan Burke, do you just want more of the same? Are you happy with how this game has gone minus your finishing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to improve on everything. On the possession-wise, you're looking pretty good, but chances are being created. You're getting shots on goal. It's just you're frustrated at your attackers that are not capitalizing on these easy opportunities. You've had 2 clear shots on goal where Burke should have capitalized at least on one of those. And you have Santi Moore, who's constant, and he's creative and dangerous. So I'm not too frustrated for my team. I just want him to score a goal, at least going into the half, at least 1-0.
Alongside Albert Munoz, I'm Dallin Cuff. We are here at Goodman Stadium on the campus of Lehigh University. The final day of the USL regular season. Bethlehem has already punched their ticket to the playoffs. They did lose midweek, but Orlando City's loss Thursday guaranteed them a spot in the top 8. They are 8th right now. If they finish with a draw or a loss today, they will play Louisville City FC. If they win today, they will move up to 6th through tiebreakers, and they will play Tampa Bay as the 3rd seed. And all the playoffs start next week. Nice job by Trusty to keep possession, flip it up to Moar. Now Moar getting to a dangerous area, running into the middle. Still Moar takes the shot, deflects, and it'll go out for a goal kick.
Deflected off Burke. Great run from Moar. If Burke would have rounded away, that would have been a very dangerous play here against St. Louis. He does this so well. He just knows with confidence running up to the field. That could have easily been a goal. Easily could have been an opportunity.
He's had his hand in quite a bit. As you said before the show, he is a dangerous guy. He's been on the ball and been effective early in this game.
Yeah, he's a short, stocky player. I mean, he's my type of player. He's really sound on the ball, technical, speedy, enjoyable to watch.
Aronson on the ball, the teenager, tried to skip past one defender. He gets lucky on the deflection. Still Aronson now driving, and you see the size difference right there. Cabelceta just moved him right off the ball. 16-year-old's body will develop in time, but Cabelceta at 24, a little more developed.
Yeah, but the fact that he can at least dribble these players at this age, with that speed, he shows great promise.
Krisnenko on the ball. Syracuse product, 22-year-old rookie working in the corner. Manuel Appia, Cincinnati product, steals it from him, gets going the other way. David pings it long, and he's got Jackson now. Still Jackson, battling 1-on-2. He cuts it back to his right. Still Jackson, he gets the shot off, but saved by McGuire. Wow. Great ball driven out by David that almost helped create a chance. And what an effort by Jackson.
I thought that was going to go in. He was going to outpace both these players, Jackson, and he had a great cut there and shot. So absolutely great effort here by Jackson for St. Louis. Very surprising.
Daniel Jackson, Pittsburgh native, to Coker College. He was actually the 70th pick in the 2014 MLS draft by Real Salt Lake. Never played for them, signed with the Railhawks. Eric with Bethlehem the other way, but Najim just kind of careless with the pass. Turnover. Appia on the ball. Ali Hadzic.
So we were trying to guess where Appia's from. Did you ever look into if he's from Ghana?
Yes, before we went on air, I made sure to double check he is from Ghana. Ghanaian product, born there but raised in the States, went to Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati.
He's probably cousins with Stephen Appia, who was a long-time Ghana national team player, number 10. He was a star. He played in several World Cups, and he was our nemesis for many years of the U.S. national team. So maybe that's his younger cousin.
Appia's like Smith there, but yes, I mean, exactly. He was a tremendous player. Emmanuel is a good player as well, as the ball's driven in and knocked out by Ali Hadzic.
Michael Essien and Stephen Appia, those two were a lethal combination.
Knocked the U.S. out of back-to-back World Cups in '06 in the group stage, in 2010 in the round of 16 in extra time. That was a dagger.
Oh, yeah.
I actually missed my friend's wedding. I'll remain nameless to see that game. I was there for the reception, though. I just missed the vows. I had to watch the game.
You're still a good friend.
He still doesn't know that. See, that big wedding was big. Ball played in. Moore tried to make the near post run. Here's an opportunity going the other way. Happy on it again. He does get some help from David. David's head is up, but he will just play it back and hold possession for a minute here for St. Louis. Good turn by Dalgard away from trouble.
Noticing some momentum by St. Louis. Some good 1-2 touch action. It's good to see them getting confident. That last run by Jackson, I mean, it really propels you some momentum. It just gives some confidence to the team when you see your attacker almost score, and knowing that you're 30 minutes in, you have 15 minutes left in the half. I mean, hey, let's put a little effort into this. Let's capitalize on these chances.
Caballsetta comes over kind of wildly. Couldn't clear it, and Burke was able to start to get upfield before it was taken over and knocked out by Ali Hadzic. Najim pings it over to Hugh Roberts. Last year, USL best 11. He was the Defender of the Year finalist. Played in every minute. Roberts looks long for Burke. Easily intercepted by Caballsetta. Control now for St. Louis. Playoffs here start in USL next week, determining if Bethlehem will play Louisville City. Right now, that'd be the 1-8 matchup. And Eric Dopka pulls this one back. Do you feel like Lou City is the best team in the East without a doubt right now?
On paper, they're incredible. I mean, also on the field, they have incredible players, and they've really earned their spot, I'd say. But in playoffs, you never know.
One game scenario in soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Tough.
Bethlehem could classify now for the playoffs with the 8th seed if they don't win today, and they can go and surprise the 1st seed. So yeah, it's wide open, I'd say, at this point.
All played up to Jackson. He lays it off to David. Nice footwork by Appia. 1-2. Sprayed out wide now. David making the run, but then cut out by Chambers as he tracks the runner. Guzman, and it somehow stays on the line in play. Excuse me, that was Moar. But dug it out for Bethlehem, and now he'll clear it out. But only as far as David. Miscommunication. Uh-oh, ball spilled, and that is a gift of a goal. Given to Sebastian Dalgard. Doesn't get any easier than that. Poor clearance, poor communication. Dalgard lays it in 1-0 to the visiting St. Louis squad.
Did that really just happen? I can't believe that. That's a terrible mistake. Bethlehem, a costly mistake in the back. I mean, I'm speechless. This is, first of all, Santi Moore should have not cleared that ball straight into the center, and miscommunication between the goalie. And then the header, I understand what he tried to do, but this is way too risky to do, and you can't do this. You have to clear the ball out. Shocker of a goal here.
That was unfortunate for Jake McGuire. He's going to look back at that video and be like, what was going on? He's running around in circles.
There's got to be better communication.
Cue the circus music right there. That was not what you want to see if you're Brendan Burke.
Absolutely not.
But let's see how this young team responds at home in a game they want to win. Here's Matt Real. Gets loose, gets the shot off, into right back.
That's how they react.
Talk about a young team responding. Force a turnover, blisters a left foot shot. I'm sure Davala Goric will want another chance at that save, but he won't have it here. 1-1. We are tied up in less than 60 seconds.
Oh, yeah, Real was pissed. He was angry at that previous goal. He had a great chance, and he came in, basically a solo goal. Incredible left foot action here, and what a whip. Excellent shot.
That is Real's first goal of the campaign in his 17th start. Comes at a big time for them, and he's hyped up, and rightfully so.
Now we have a game. This is what you want, you know, 10 minutes into the last 10 minutes of the game of the half, you're gonna want this action here. A lot of pressure, and this is a good reaction from Bethlehem. I mean, this is what you want from Coach Burke. You want his players to react positively and emotionally, and they want to make changes immediately.
Yeah, he won't be happy about the goal they gave up in that, but that response, you've got to like that.
At least you get that, right?
Yeah. Conversely, if you're Preki, you just see your team get gifted a goal, and then again you turn it over in your own third, and it leads to a goal. That's about the 6th or 7th time they've turned it over that led to an opportunity for Bethlehem.
It's definitely frustrating, but at the same time, it wasn't a mistake that Bethlehem made. It was a mistake in the half, but that shot, it was a good shot.
True.
It was a far shot. It was something that could have been stopped, but it was a great shot. But it's definitely frustrating for both coaches.
Dalgard, the goal scorer, on the ball. Conrad Pleva skips past Nanko. Still Pleva. He finally lays it off.
Chambers is such a good manager in the midfield. He's a veteran and he has experience. He really knows how to hold down the center of the park. He's a good guide and teacher for these young players.
Nice pass by Najim to get it to Aronson. Between the lines, Aronson up to Burke. Burke gets a shot off. Gorick with the save. And it goes out for a corner.
I'm enjoying Burke today. I mean, he's active. He's missed a goal. Yes, but he's had a couple of shots and have been dangerous. And they all have been on frame, which is excellent for a striker.
Burke, big imposing figures, 9 goals on the year. See if he can get a piece of this. Ball played in. Looking back post. Foul will be called on Hugh Roberts, who came flying in.
Ball at halftime. With the following chance that I list, please meet in section WJ above the Ford in the 42nd.
Robert's still working on it.
Ivan Vangar.
See if we get to Aronson in a little bit of space. Aronson got his head up, but was initially eventually snapped out with 2. Now Aronson is carrying a yellow card. Remember, he picked that up in the 6th minute of this match. See how the 16-year-old manages that.
And needs to be careful. I mean, he needs to stay level-headed. He wants to make sure that he plays in full 90 minutes if he can, and avoid any ejections. But I just feel like he gets a little overwhelmed sometimes with the ball. I mean, he has a couple defenders on him, and he gets a little rattled. But this will come with time, with experience. He has incredible potential to be a star in this league, but he needs to be careful with his yellow cards.
Burke pressing, Capelceta hard, almost got the turnover, but the foul was called first by Eric Dobka, the man in the middle. Capelceta looking up for Radosljevic, cut out. Guzman, though, comes down with it, skipping past defenders. Plays it back, looking for Jackson, who made the run onto it, but well defended by Roberts. Not the best clearance by Royale the first time. The second bite of the cherry a little better.
It was a self-pass.
Yeah, it was.
Last 5 minutes of the half, I'm gonna think both coaches are gonna want to settle in halftime and review their mistakes, and they're gonna want to obviously. I think that the momentum is gonna continue for the second half. I don't think they're gonna make many changes. They'll probably wait to the latter of the second half. But overall, I think both teams are on the same mindset that they have to improve the second half a little bit more in their capitalization of goals.
Anko's shirt grabbed by Stanley. Crowd wants a yellow. They will not get it. Quite a nice day here in Bethlehem. Cloudy, not much sun, but it's 70 degrees. Just shy of 70 degrees. Stay, not really even a fall day, just a nice day.
That's perfect weather for soccer, if you ask me.
Chambers now on the overlap. Good ball played in. There's going to be an opportunity, but Burke's foot went up and dangerous play is called. Hodzic finds Dalgard. Stanley on the overlap. He's on his horse, and he will get there. First time cross. Hit that over to Harrisburg. Again, Preki rolling out a young lineup. Stanley just 17 years old, his 6th appearance of the season. Columbia, Illinois native. Dalgard trying to skip by Najim. Did not come off. And goes past behind Aronson, but Burke comes back to get it. And a quick 1-2 played up to Moar now. Driving a Cabell setup. And his pass to Aronson, just too much on it.
It's a good idea. I think Moar could have been selfish there and continue, maybe do a step over and get a shot on goal. He has the capability of doing that. He shouldn't be afraid to do that or even try that, especially at this point in the game.
Ball left short, then it basically put on a platter for Burke, and Burke hikes it over the goal. Almost gifted another opportunity. He was gifted the opportunity, didn't take it, I should say.
Frustration is setting in definitely for Burke at this point. Several shots on goal. I mean, this is a difficult one. He had pressure. I mean, he could have cut the ball back easily, but I understand he's probably frustrated at this point with so many opportunities he's been given.
Appia on the ball, driving at Jones. Cuts it back to his right, couple step overs, lays it off Radosevich, and he almost totally fanned on it. Now Real's going to be off to the races the other way. Threads the through ball up to Moar. Moar looking for Burke. Going to get it to Burke, who is onside. He looked to play the cross, but deflected out by Pleva.
It's well fought there by Bethlehem. Good development play from the back. Santi Moore is a constant. I mean, you would agree. He's every single time the ball goes through him, there's some kind of danger that's created. Again, he's going to be dangerous in the playoffs scenario, in my opinion.
6 goals, 6 assists on the season for Moar. He is the one standing over the ball here. Throws the in-swinger, but right to Guzman. Not a good clearance, though. Opportunity. Trusty gets a shot off. And it's deflected out by Stanley for another corner.
Taking a look at that replay, I mean, again, Bethlehem, they get the corner and they get these attempts. They've had a lot of chances. And once again, St. Louis is just backtracking and trying to defend as much as possible.
Real floated that one toward the penalty spot. Chambers wins the second ball. He gives it a crack. Goes over for the 30-year-old.
I'll take that. from Chambers any day. His main role is center, defensive midfielder, guidance, veteran, always teaching, always educating his players vocally and obviously by his actions. But when he gets a shot on goal, I mean, he has the experience to score, so I applaud that and I want that from him.
The fourth official has indicated there will be 1 minute.
As you see on your screen there, 1 minute of stoppage time. We'll have a mandatory 1 minute. Real lays it off for Moore, Moar continues his run. Jones's pass picked off by Stanley. Stanley rides the challenge for a bit and eventually picks up a foul. He starts it up quick for Dalgard.
Good way to finish off the half, just holding the ball well, being patient.
Eric Dopka still letting the clock run and possibly one last opportunity here for St. Louis, but they play it back. Floated toward Guzman. And he draws a foul. Nope, there will be the halftime whistle, and we are tied at 1-1. Albert, your thoughts so far?
Well, I mean, excellent first half. Both teams have shown well. They've really, fought to keep possession, and each of them have a goal at this point. So the game's wide open in the second half.
Sebastian Dalgard was gifted a goal essentially in the 34th minute. Poor clearances by Bethlehem. He jumped on it. But less than 60 seconds later, Matt Real created a goal simply out of nothing almost, just outworking the defenders, getting a steal, turning it over, and then blasting a shot past Davala Goric. 1-1 at the half here from Bethlehem. We'll be back from Goodman Stadium after the break.
The Philadelphia Union are off to the races.
Tickets, visit PhiladelphiaUnion.com.
Rothrock is where the cars are.
Rothrock's pre-owned outlet has been serving the Lehigh Valley for over 55 years. Our world-class facility offers premium vehicles, including hundreds of factory-certified pre-owned, next to new cars and trucks, factory-backed and warranted for 100,000 miles. A 125-point certified inspection assures security and peace of mind, and Rothrock pre-owned always means big savings, with vehicles starting at only $2,900. Over 300 vehicles in stock and ready to roll.
Rothrock, where the cars are.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Can you feel it? That vibe. It's here on America's best beaches. Feel it in unique mashups of amazing, crazy, and wow. So within every moment, you live amplified. St. Pete Clearwater, solar powered and radiating 1,000,000 megawatts of possibility. Dive in deeper at liveamplified.com.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Back here at Goodman Stadium, halftime between Bethlehem and St. Louis, 1-1. Albert Munoz, Dallin Cuff here, and it is almost playoff time. This is the final regular season game of the season. The playoffs start next weekend, and here is your slate of games. It is going to be great right now. Just in terms of our game, Bethlehem would be slotted in to play Louisville City if this result holds. If they win, they would be playing Tampa Bay as the 6th seed. How excited are you for this playoffs?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be very entertaining, and it's wide open at the moment. Tampa Bay Rowdies, we were just discussing to one of my friends yesterday. It's such an exciting team. If they happen to play now, it's going to be a very, very big battle, and I'd rather play, at this point, I don't know if it's Louisville or Tampa Bay, because they're both going to be very difficult teams to beat.
Here's the playoff bracket. As we stand, as we just mentioned, Bethlehem would be the 8th seed if they draw or lose this match, so they are slotted there now against Louisville. Your 2nd seed, the Battery, they would be taking on Red Bull 2, last year's Cup champions. The 4-5 matchup, Rochester and Charlotte, and last but not least, the Tampa Bay team that you just mentioned, who has a lot of veterans and a lot of players that have played in big-time games, would be against the Cincinnati team, who would be the 6th seed as we speak. Is there a certain matchup you'd like to see that would be interesting in the first round?
I mean, at this point, every single matchup that I see here is entertaining. But I'd love to see Louisville-Bethlehem because, like I said, the team's playing really well today, and they're going to be playing against the 1st seed. If not, that game against Tampa would be very entertaining as well because Tampa has a very entertaining team to watch as well. So I don't have an ideal matchup, but I think everything that falls into place is going to be quite entertaining.
And Bethlehem did go down to Louisville and draw them last month. They may go back there again next week. We'll find out. The second 45 will determine that. 1-1 here at Goodman Stadium at the half.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
At halftime, welcome to our USL studios. Storylines abound in the USL as the season nears its conclusion. Record-setting attendance, just one of the many focal points that we could talk about. It's what we do talk about here. With Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts, big milestones over the weekend. At Rio Tinto Stadium, over 8,000 witnessed as the regular season championship trophy was hoisted by the Monarchs. It's just part of a larger milestone weekend for the league.
And the big story of the league is the USL crossed the 2 million in total attendance mark and became the first North American Division II league to do so.
But it's not the league that does it. It's individual teams with their fantastic fan bases, new homes. They're setting records too.
And that's led by FC Cincinnati with almost 340,000 fans at Nippert Stadium during their home games this season. Also, Sacramento Republic FC averaged a sellout crowd each home game at Papa Murphy's Park this year. Ottawa Fury FC also saw 6 figures in their season attendance.
In total, it's 2 million through the turnstiles. It's a giant increase league-wide.
An increase of 33% so far, and there's still 1 week to play.
So the story is about expansion, teams rising, teams falling, playoff hopes, some dashed, some just now beginning to find its legs. We're enjoying all the fans that have made it out so far, many more to come. For Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts for the USL Network, enjoy the second half.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Halftime here in Eastern Pennsylvania. Bethlehem tied up with St. Louis at Goodman Stadium, 1-1. Albert Munoz, Dallin Cuff here. And throughout this game, it was a game that Bethlehem came out, they wanted to win. Brandon Burke told us it was important, and they looked like the team likely to get on the board first.
Right. I mean, as you see here in these highlights, you see a constant in this first half, which is Santi Moore constantly trying to create, very, very difficult to stop. He had few chances this half. He had a nice opportunity here, but he tried to chip it over to Burke, but this is just the beginning of what he definitely did this first half.
Another opportunity created, just a quick long ball, then a good through ball to Burke, and Burke gets good purchase on this. Great save by Davala Goric, though.
Burke was also a constant. He had several opportunities, and he's been really, really present up top, which is great as a striker. He wants to make sure that he's available for his teammates, but he just hasn't had a chance to really put one back in the back of the net today.
This looked like it was going to be one for Daniel Jackson. It didn't seem like it was 1-on-2, but he just kept working and found himself to get a good look at net.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best opportunities for St. Louis in the first half. They're very difficult to do. 1-on-2, it's not easy to get a shot off.
And now this is the comedy of errors for Bethlehem. First a poor clearance, then it's just a couple poor headers, and how about this, Sebastian Dalgard, thank you for the assist.
Poor communication here for Bethlehem. Unfortunately, they gave up this easy goal. Just mistake after mistake, and then Dalgard, great opportunistic play here. I mean, poached it, and he poked it in, and they're 1-0.
But this was about 15 seconds later. What a response by this young team, particularly Matt Real, just willed himself to a goal.
Absolutely great, stunning left footer. He, like I said, he was angry. He wanted to make a quick reaction, and he had an opportunity up the flank. He took the ball from his own teammate. He said, you know what, I'm taking a shot, and this is how I feel today. This is how I scored.
Heck of a determination by him, and you're right, just skipped right by Moar and took it himself and got it done. That knotted us up at 1, and that's where we stand right now. And celebrate, young man, as you should, his first goal of the campaign for the 18-year-old. Let's take a look at the stats. Even result where we're at right now, possession somewhat misleading given Bethlehem kind of seemed like dominating the game.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say it's more of a 50-50 towards the end of the half. I mean, but stats are proving that St. Louis has had the ball a little bit more. But overall, you have more shots on Bethlehem's side. The game's wide open. I mean, I don't think these stats are really reflective of what's happening in the first half. Second half is going to be completely different. They'll see what happens. But I do know that both teams will come out charged and ready with a lot of energy.
All right, we're heading to break here, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Second half kickoff coming your way on the final day of the USL regular season.
You've lived with it for too long.
That recurring joint or muscle pain that makes everyday tasks a strain and repetitive movement almost impossible. Why put it off? The sooner you seek treatment, the more options you'll have. The faster you'll be back in full stride. The latest non-surgical solutions. The region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Lehigh Valley Insulation keeps you cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. And with 19 years worth of satisfied customers in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, we've probably insulated one of your neighbor's homes. Our home specialist delivers swift and efficient white glove service, insulating attics, exterior walls, and virtually any under-insulated areas, saving wear and tear on your heating and cooling systems while adding value to your home and providing year-round comfort that pays for itself. Take comfort in Lehigh Valley Insulation. Comfort that pays.
His shot, and that's by Rafi Diaz, and in. Takes another shot on goal. It goes in. Bethlehem on the board. In search, over, put it home, and the Union lead.
And we are back here at Goodman Stadium, and that is one of the Rookie of the Year candidates. And of course, Richard Ballard had a solid season for Louisville City FC. Aaron Jones in our game is the right back for Bethlehem. He's in this roster of players. Who do you like for the Rookie of the Year?
It's going to be a tough one because I've seen both these players play, and Ballard is one of my favorites. Jones is proven to be a great standout player as well, and the potential is endless moving forward in the future. It's up in the air, I mean, because all these players bring a lot of youthful experience, but they have a lot of potential for the next couple years to really be standouts. But I was waiting for the 5 results, but I'm going to say I'm between Weehan and Ballard. That's my favorites.
I think I agree with that. Ballard has had quite an impact on that Louisville City team, which has a lot of talent already. So him working himself in that lineup and being rather integral has been an impressive season. But also for Aaron Jones, a 23-year-old, he's had quite a year. This is his 28th appearance, only sitting out 4 games this year and being very influential on that right wing.
And physically speaking, I mean, you see these rookies. I mean, I think back of my rookie year and rookie years in general. I mean, you look at these little kids, young players, but for example, like Jones. Jones is a strong player. I mean, he's physically fit. I mean, Weehan as well. Ballard, I remember when I first saw him playing, I didn't realize he was a rookie. So it's incredible how strong these players have gotten over the years.
And Nanko took a strong shot there from Conrad Pleva. He was down right away. And now that'll give Jones a chance to stand over a free kick.
Yeah, right off the bat, came in hard.
Substitution in the 45th minute. And a yellow card, caution, has been given to St. Louis, number 5.
And a yellow card went to Pleva for that challenge right off the bat.
This could be a good opportunity for Bethlehem to really start the second half with a dangerous set piece. Look for the head of Trusty or Roberts in the header.
Jones lofts it towards the back post. Up went Roberts. He was able to get a foot to it, but it was a foul first, as Eric Dopka, the official. And just to give you a quick reset, Albert Munoz, Dallin Cuff here from Goodman Stadium. Bethlehem already in the playoffs. They know they will be one of the 8 teams. Right now they are the 8th seeded squad. They will be taking on Louisville City FC if this result holds. Loss or draw puts them in the 8th spot. A win jumps them to the 6th spot. They then would play Tampa Bay next weekend.
As we mentioned before, Tampa Bay and both Louisville are great teams to watch and dangerous teams. So Bethlehem has a very difficult next week if they, depending how they outcome today.
Ball played long. Moir looking to get on top of it, and it stayed in play, but eventually it knocked out. And we've got a St. Louis player down now. It's Eric Cabalcetta. Eric Dopka says the official says the trainer should come out right away. To your point, just with Tampa Bay and Louisville, Bethlehem's played those two teams 3 times. Tampa Bay twice in the last 3 weeks, and played Louisville right before that. All draws. Cabalcetta lays out for the ball and grabs right at his hamstring.
He definitely either strained it or pulled it, unfortunately. It's a big effort he made there to stretch his leg out. Yeah, he's mentioning that he might have torn that or even stretched it out. That's a shame. It's just starting the second half. Those are tough to walk off, if you remember.
Yeah, that's
your playing days.
Not a good thing right there. We'll see if he's able to. Now there's the signal. There will be a change made. See who Preki goes to. And he can't even hardly put any pressure on at all, able to just barely get off the playing surface. And you hear Eric Doppa saying, do you want the sub now?
I think season-long fatigue could be a case for that, or dehydration, or just improper warm-up. So many variables that, you know, us athletes have to really take care of our bodies to going into the professional games. Because any moment you could make a weird or sudden movement and you could literally strain a muscle.
Berg trying to take advantage of now playing with 10. He almost cut that back to Nanko. And it went out for a corner, says the linesman. Still no sub made, so they're still playing with 10 right now. Take that back. Sub has been made.
Another 14-year-old. He looks extremely young.
You see Jack Mayer inserted into the game. Get to him in a second as they get ready to take this corner. Cabalcetta just really laboring right now. Played deep, and Gorick corrals it.
Yeah, he's struggling. He definitely strained his muscle there, his hamstring.
Jack Mayer getting his first play. Get back to him again. A quick second. Aiden Stanley, a 17-year-old now. He plays it across and cut out by Aaron Jones, the Rookie of the Year candidate. Mayer's an academy player for St. Louis. Caseyville, Illinois product. He's been with the club for 5 years in their development system. This will be his first chance. He was in the U.S. under-18 team he's been a representative of. We'll see how he performs here. A native of Serbia, but American citizen. Just 20 years old.
That's a great opportunity, if you ask me. Come in at the end of the season, get some minutes in. Well, get a whole half in, and really show his worth. I mean, these are chances that he probably wasn't going to get if his teammate didn't get injured.
Ball played low there and knocked out. Will he have another sub? Ivan Mirkovic. He's inserted into the lineup. Ball cleared out. Ivan Mirkovic, excuse me.
Just interesting to see what's going to happen in the second half with these change-ups. Typically, and as I mentioned before, coaches are usually waiting until the 70th minute, 75th minute, 80th minute to make their changes. But due to injury and maybe tactical formation change, you want to see something different for the second half here for St. Louis.
And Mirkovic checked on for Tyler David. And as we mentioned before, Mayer came in for the injured Caballsetta, and that is Mayer with the ball.
I thought David was doing a sound job in the midfield. I wonder if that was physical or more of a tactical change.
Burke cleared out. Sorry, David was not the sub. We'll get that sorted out for you shortly. Stanley on the ball. Lays it back to Appia. Appia looking to skip it across, and Dalgard almost just arrived there in time. But it just skips out.
He just needed to slightly poke that one in. He just came up short. That would have definitely set the tone for the second half.
Chambers cleared out there. Will that be card is a question. Chambers is upset, understandably so.
Yeah, he gets heated. He's passionate.
He had a couple words for Precky's son there, Nick Radoslavich. Jack Mayer came on for Guzman, excuse me, not Tyler David. And Mirkovic came in, and he gets a quick yellow.
This is a lot of verbal action here. Unnecessary yellow cards, I'd say. So Mirkovic and Mayer, they'll come in and try to make an impact immediately for the St. Louis squad.
Yellow cards given to both teams. Bethlehem Steel yellow card given to number 45, James Chambers. And yellow card given to St. Louis's number 18, Ivan Mirkovic.
If I'm not mistaken, David's now pushed back to center.
I was going to ask what has changed from their tactical lineup.
Mirkovic, I think, comes in more of a center midfielder, and David changes back to the defensive line. And Mayer comes out wide. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on here. And that just shows David's versatility. I mean, he plays striker. He scored a goal.
He played all three lines.
Right? That's really unheard of.
Appia cutting inside. Pleva scoops his pass over to Stanley. Stanley at Appia. Appia walking with it. Stanley showing his speed, skips in front of Jones, and Jones may have been inadvertent, but you are taught at a pretty young age to cut and run in front of that guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's very aggressive on both of them. And he is explaining Bethlehem's player, he's absolutely arguing Jones that he was not intentionally trying to cut him off. They're both running at speed, and it's inevitable at that point.
Now an opportunity for Appia to set up a free kick.
I wonder why Preki changed Octavio Guzman.
Appia goes back post, cleared out by Burke. First time shot, wayward.
Guzman's always been a 90-minute player. Interesting to know why he changed. I mean, Mayer coming in, the young player coming in to replace Caballsetta. But Mirkovic is usually the one that comes in and, you know, takes a 75th minute replacement. He'll make a change in the midfield. He'll make an impact, I think. But I'm still curious to see what happened with Guzman.
I mean, we talked about youth here. Maybe it's an opportunity for Mayer at only 20, getting a chance to get back into a game and kind of make his debut and see what he can do.
Definitely. Hopefully he takes advantage.
Mirkovic plays it out to Mayer. Skipping inside is Jackson. He's cleared out, but no call. How would you assess the first 10 minutes of this half here?
Well, I mean, the uncertainty that's happened because of the substitutes definitely changes a little bit of the rhythm of your side. But overall, I don't think much has changed. The same mentality, same goals, same mentality going into creating and just at this point just tactically being sound.
Oh, wayward touch there. Almost gave up a corner, but covered. Ali Hodzic looking long for Jackson. They're able to settle. They'll skip into the offensive attack. Plays it back to Dalgard. Stanley making the overlapping run past Appia. Finds Stanley. Getting in line, trying to cut it back. Jones knocks it out, but it goes last off Stanley.
I think the main question should be, what position do you like?
Pairing another sub here. Seiko Kone coming in. That was 36, the second sub. And Amoy Brown just came on, number 49. But Kone comes in as the leading scorer on this club with 10 goals on the season. Burke has 9. So you're going to have Burke and Kone, as Brennan Burke was telling us earlier in the week, 2 hot strikers in this game. They are going for the win, no doubt about that.
Good substitutions. Nanko had a good effort today, but now that you mention it, you have Burke up top, and you're going to have Kone, who's, like you said, scoring a lot of goals this season, so it should make a major impact in the second half for Bethlehem. I was mentioning before, I wonder what's my favorite position, or your favorite position for David. Up top, midfielder defense. I mean, he's done well in the midfield. He's a good holding player.
Provides a lot of versatility for Preki. Little housekeeping, let me clarify. Sorry, I said Amoy Brown. It's Joseph Samuel, 49, coming in. Second-year player, born in Ethiopia, raised in Atlanta. Ball pinged out wide. Looking for Burke. Overlap from Jones. Stanley, good tackle, got ball first. Nice turn by Appia. Good step by Trusty. He cuts it back to Najim. Nice job by Real to skip past the challenge. Play it up to Moar. Moar able to get end line. Still Moar. He's on the ball. Almost skipped it to Samuel. It's still loose. Najim on it. He dinks it over the top for Burke. Burke gets his head to it, but there's Stanley.
Those are the moments you want to watch, and you have the ability to have players like Moar just create wonderful plays. That's a great flank individual opportunity here that he created. He almost chipped the goalie right on the line of the edge of the goal. So, and Burke, great header. So, great play so far from Bethlehem in the last few seconds here.
Jones, the long header. Chambers going to line it up, and it's just over the bar. Again, he was the difference maker the last time these teams met back on June 11th. 2-1 win. Beautiful goal from outside the 18 for Chambers. Almost happened again.
Beautiful run here by Santi Moar. Oh, just a cheeky chip. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. What a header by Burke, and what a shot by Chambers here in the last play.
Contact by Burke. Just a quick note on Samuel, 49 in the middle of your screen, as Stanley down in some pain. He came on for Aronson, the teenager, the 16-year-old, and Aronson was carrying a yellow card. May have been somewhat tactical by Burke there, not trying to play with 10 men in case Aronson, the youngster, made any mistake. Samuel definitely a more defensive player. We'll see if Adam Najim pushes more up into the attack.
He will, and speaking of Najim, very sound technical player. I like him, he's very steady. He is a possession player. I think that's a good move. Aronson had a good run. He had some experience there. But you're bringing in you brought in an attacker who will partner up as well with Burke. And then you're pushing Najim up a little bit. Samuel is more of a defensive. So I think it was a sound move by Burke here.
Moir cuts back, leaves it for Chambers. Chambers tries to play a 1-2 with Kone. His pass was a little too hot for him to handle. St. Louis looking to break the other way now. Played out wide to Jackson. Jackson going on Trusty. Good help by Samuel.
You want Sekou Kone to partner up with Burke up top. I mean, those two are dangerous. They have a lot of goals between themselves. I really think Najim could really partner up as an attacking midfielder with these two strikers and capitalize in these last minutes in the second half.
19 of the 45 goals have come from those two men, Sekou Kone and Corey Burke. And to your point about Najim, 8 assists on the year, leads the team in assists.
He's a facilitator.
There's Kone in your picture. 21-year-old. Played short, now looking long for Pleva. Pleva's able to get his head to it, but couldn't get it back across the area. Long ball looking for Kone. He is off though. And boot went up there by Mirkovic, caught Kone. And bear in mind, Mirkovic is on a yellow card given that exchange he had with Chambers in the 53rd minute. But the ball was blown dead due to offside.
Yeah, he definitely caught him there. I mean, he just kept with the momentum of the play. He had no way of stopping. He was his back face to the flag, so it was no ill intent there. But yeah, he did collide with him.
Tyler David changing the play by about 12 yards with his hands there. Okay. Ali Hadzic drives a pass up to Mirkovic, out to Mayer. Pass was a little bit off, and this could be an opportunity for Burke. Samuel making the hard run near post. Far post is Kone, and Kone's just there, but Gorick, smart play, didn't touch it. Realized Kone was not going to get there and definitely didn't want to spill it out in front of goal.
Great chance here by Burke, and great vision. I mean, that was a good attempt to cross the ball for anyone who coming in the forms of Samuel or even Kone. But it was just short of, actually a little too long for him to stretch his leg out.
And Seth Rudolph is going to replace the coach's son, Nick Radoslavich. Rudolph, 26-year-old's first year with St. Louis. Belleville, Illinois product, but he's product of the Scott Gallagher Youth Academy, which is the academy affiliated with St. Louis's club. Tremendous youth academy, produced a lot of great players over the years. See if Rudolph can make a difference. That is the third and final sub for Preki here in this match. Played out wide to Stanley. Appia able to turn with a little bit of space here. Ball played over the top, but easily caught by McGuire. So what needs to change for St. Louis to try to manufacture some opportunities?
Well, now that they made their 3 substitutes, they want a few minutes to get acclimated with the new changes. But it's a matter of them continuing to
ball loose.
Keep the ball.
Moir was flicked on by David, and Moir ran onto it, got a shot, but Gorick was out there to make a play.
And defensively speaking, I mean, you're trying to survive these attacks by Bethlehem. They're just coming at all angles, at various speeds and great tactical play. So it's a combination of playing well defensively and also trying to create an opportunity to get some goals in.
Hey, fans, Stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league.
And if you're Bethlehem, how does Brennan Burke and his crew break the tie here? We'll ask you that after this replay.
That was a great attempt here by Bethlehem. Just shy of a nice little chip. Could have been a goal. Well, Burke, I'd say, I mean, he's made a couple great changes in my opinion. He wants them to, to come into fruition. Obviously, to see a Kone, get a few shots on goal. Samuel to be very, very in line with Najim in the midfield. Other than that, I think they're just going to allow him basically to run the rest of the minutes the way they know how to play, which is creating attack and trying to get some goal.
Looking long for Jackson. Trusty closes him down. Jackson still working. Real comes to help. Real skips it up top to Kone. Kone tried to chest it down, was just short of Moar. One here from Goodman Stadium alongside Albert Munoz. I'm Dallin Cuff as we cross into the 69th minute of this match. Bethlehem against St. Louis. Bethlehem already in the playoffs, courtesy of an Orlando City B loss a few days back. Made them kept them in this 8th spot. If they win today, they move up to 6. A draw or a loss, they stay in 8th. They play Lou City FC next weekend. If they get the win, they will play Tampa Bay. Seth Rudolph, first time to get into the attack in this game. Lays it back for Stanley. Stanley ready to line up across, but really snuffed out well by Samuel. Clearance could have been better, but it fell to Najim. Ali Hadzic lines one up.
These are the mistakes that Najim can't have. He is a holding center midfielder. He has to make sure that every single pass is on point and sharp. So I saw him getting a little frustrated with himself there. A little over 20 minutes left. I mean, at this point, the game's still really wide open. But it seems like it's settled down a lot with the opportunities. I mean, we haven't had any intense moments, but hopefully these changes will really develop now and work in their favor.
Kone just kind of stepped underneath there. Pleva came flying in. Pleva won the USL Cup last year as a member of New York Red Bulls 2. Played every minute during their playoff run.
That type of experience will be very important for a team going into the playoffs scenario.
Switched out to Stanley. Stanley working on Jones. 17-year-old looking for space, not finding any. Burke able to step past Ali Hadzic, and he could be in some space now. Kone wants to play to his feet. Burke just doesn't. Decides to keep running on. He's got no help in the box, a little contact, and after an 80-yard run, nothing to show for it. Should he have just played that to Kone and continued his run?
Absolutely. He needed to release that ball earlier. But at the same time, he didn't have much else other than Kone in the middle for support. Either you take your shot or you just, release it earlier. So he was a little indecisive there for a moment.
Matt Real working hard on the defensive end. He is the goal scorer for Bethlehem, but this falls to Jackson. He lays it off. A lot of space here for Mirkowicz. Back to Jackson, who pings it out to Appia. And Appia just drifted offside.
I feel like Mirkowicz could have taken a shot there. A little bit more aggressive on his end. He delayed the process. That's why Appia ended up being offside.
A lot of space there Mirkowicz had. Kone's able to settle on it to Samuel. Pinged out wide. Real skipping into the attack. Lays it off to Mawar. Roberts looking for Real, but cut out there. Pass left short for Chambers, put him in trouble. And Roberts just had to clear it out.
Not a battle in the midfield for possession. I mean, both teams are connecting 3 or 4 times and they're losing the possession. So it's frustrating for both teams. They need to really just soundly get those touches in and maybe get to the final third and create a shot. There's a lot of touches in the midfield.
So switch it out to Appia. Chest control good, brings it down. Running at Jones, drives across there. Knocked down just a little bit by Trusty, but still not out. Finally, Najim will get it out of dodge.
Saw the recent possession stat there. St. Louis up top with possession over 55%. I don't know if I'm really in agreement with that. I mean, it seems like it's pretty equal at this point. It's not clear. I mean, both teams are just scrapping, fighting for the ball.
There's a little collision there at midfield. Eric Dopka saw nothing wrong with it. Both players back up on their feet, and we are continuing play. Sebastian Dalgard, the goal scorer for St. Louis. Lazy pass by Mirkovic, turned over. Noir making his run down the left side. Early ball, looking for Kone. Just a bit behind him. Seth Rudolph driving into space, lays it off for Jackson. Nice tackle by Aaron Jones. Goes to ground, comes up with the ball.
Like a handball to me.
Okay, maybe not a good tackle by Aaron Jones. Rudolph on it again. Matt Real takes it off his feet. Real looking for options, looks long, and to a man in the white jersey, Aiden Stanley.
That's what I'm talking about, this possession and the turnovers. I mean, 2 or 3 good touches and all of a sudden a turnover. A long ball, an incorrect pass. It needs to be improved on both ends.
Final 15 minutes, we are encroaching on the regular season for both these teams. St. Louis's season will end here today. Bethlehem will move on to the playoffs, but who will they play? That will be determined here in the next 15 minutes. Nice turn by Rudolph to shield Real and get himself into some space. Still Rudolph. And then not quite on the same page with Jackson. Najim plays up to Samuel. Kone on it. Takes a touch, takes a shot. Wide.
A lot of power behind that shot.
Yeah.
If we had that on target, he would rip to that net.
A strong fella.
Oh, yeah.
Hodson plays it out wide to Mayer. 20-year-old finds Rudolph. They play a little 1-2. Real with good recovery speed, though, but just knocks it out of play for a corner.
Once Mayer builds into his frame, he's a relatively tall player. I mean, he's 20 years old. He has a lot of room to grow there. Could be a very dangerous flank player for any USL team.
Seems to have good feet, too, when he's had a chance on the ball. Kind of quick feet for his size.
Yeah, yeah. It's rare to find.
Appia slowly strolls over to take the corner. Plays it short. Floated to the back post, looking for Dalgard. Flipped on by David. Rudolph's going to settle and try to take a shot. Knocked down by Burke, and this could lead to a counter the other way. Samuel out on the races. There was a collision back there. Eric Dopka says play on. Moar making his run. I think he wanted it in front of him. Samuel played it behind him. Samuel crosses over. Moar just took it and took the shot. Kind of lashed at it and went far, wide.
It's not a surprising play here by Samuel. He was a little frustrated that he got the ball stolen here from Santi Moore on the shot, but that's a good attempt either way for Bethlehem on that breakaway.
And Seth Rudolph was given a yellow card for his efforts at a professional foul that Eric Dopka wisely let play on because the ball was in a dangerous spot. Tried to break up the counter by taking out Burke. Eric Dopka saying that Yurkowicz got his boot high there, and that'll give Philly, or excuse me, Bethlehem, a free kick.
I feel like both teams have definitely slowed down a bit. They're playing conservative soccer. I don't think anyone's really exposing themselves at this point. But if I were Bethlehem, I'd do my best to win this game.
Again, a win puts them into that 6th spot as Aaron Jones floats this into the mixer. Flicked on. Najee might have a chance here. Moar battling, keeps it in play, looks to get the cross off, and he gets a corner. Bethlehem win moves them to the 6th seed. They would play Tampa Bay. A loss or a draw, again, keeps them in this 8th spot. Keeps them in the playoffs, yes, but they got to go to number 1, Louisville City FC next weekend.
Which is not ideal at the pace that Louisville's playing. This team is on fire.
Jones to play it in. The outswinger. Hit high. Moar tried to kind of cut it back into play. And now he'll pick up a yellow for his professional foul here.
A little frustrated, indecisive play there by Santi Moore. Looked like he was going to shoot, but then he wanted to cut the ball. He didn't cut the ball, and then he ended up regretting it and having to create a foul, professional foul, just to avoid a counterattack. Yeah, I mean, that was just a little unnecessary at the same time from Santi Moore. You're better than that. He definitely shouldn't let that play go.
'80th minute here. Albert Munoz, Dallin Cuff. Final 10 minutes of regulation time of the USL regular season to determine the matchups for the Eastern Conference here in this game. Joseph Samuel out wide, subbed on in the second half. Little 1-2 of Moar. Samuel knocks the cross out across the line.
Hey fans, don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL game of the week.
Devala Goric made some saves early in this game that kept this at a 0-0 game at the time.
It was extremely busy, absolutely. Burke had several chances, which is probably going to haunt him now because he's not getting them back by the looks of it.
Kone on the ball looking for Burke. Maybe he will have a chance.
Hopefully he will here.
On call, great cutback to his left foot. He kind of scuffs the shot, and it goes off the post. And Moar makes the touch. He goes down. Goal kick, says Eric Dopka.
Are you kidding me?
On cue, Albert.
I was rooting for you, Burke. He had that chance. Great play. He set himself up. He cut the ball really well. Great fake out. And great shot. He placed it extremely well. But that post just was not allowing it today. Frustrating night for Burke.
Now, was that a foul on Moar there?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's a penalty kick at that point.
I mean, but a foul at the 30 should be a foul at the 6.
Sure. I'd have to see it more in detail, but it looked like it could have been a stretch there for the referee to call that as a penalty kick.
Here's a second look. Plava loses his footing.
Hey, you know what? I felt like he got tangled there, so that could have easily been a penalty kick.
It looked like Plava lost his footing and just stuck his foot in between Moar's legs, as Moar was going to get to that ball in play, it looked like. Tough no call there for Bethlehem Steel.
I'm surprised he didn't argue that one.
There was not as big as appeal as you would have thought. Moar gave the little stick to Dobka, but not the rest of the Bethlehem squad. Things heating up here down the stretch of the USL season. The final 8 minutes of regulation. Aaron Jones to play it in. Again, played very high and right in the hands of Gorick. Gorick drives it out. Good distribution, but well recovered on by Trusty just to get there before Rudolph. Trusty, long legs, able to keep it in play. He's got options in front of him, the defender. Samuel and Ali Hodzic came together, and ball squirts out to Appia. Good defense by Moar to get the turnover. Lays it off to Najim. Najim over to Burke. Burke driven. Stanley goes down hard, and it'll be a corner.
A lot of energy still from Bethlehem on the attack here. They really want that goal. And truthfully speaking, I think Burke deserves a goal today.
Yeah.
I don't think he's missed goals. He's hit the post, and the goalie has blocked several of his shots. But I don't think he's blatantly missed a goal where he's just hit it off frame. And so it's a good showing on his end today.
This one played in again, but David's able to get ahead to it first. Poor clearance by Appia, though. Matt Real, goal scorer, pings it out to Trusty, and now Real gets turnover again. He's going to drive another shot, and it's just wide. Looked almost similar to his first goal. Create a turnover and tattoo it with your left foot.
And he could hit him. It's a lethal left foot. Just wish he could go up more often. If he's that dangerous, he should constantly be shooting on the goal.
Yurkowicz lays it off to Jack Mayer. Skipped over to Stanley. Stanley looking for the cross. Too close to McGuire. Foul there by Roberts. There's Brennan Burke, second-year coach, leading his team to their first playoffs in modern Bethlehem Steel history, and he will about to make his final substitution of the match.
Santi Moore is taking a seat.
It's going to be Josh Hurd coming on for Santi Moar. Moar, what are your thoughts on his shift today?
Absolutely game changer. I mean, he's an impactful player. He's created, he's worked, more importantly. But I think he deserved a good walk-off send-off.
Moar made his imprint in this game, but could not lead to a goal here, but definitely gave every effort to do that. Hurd, the 22-year-old now, comes in from Cardiff, Wales. See if he can make a difference as he makes his first touch on the ball.
It's always important to get that first touch in properly. Confidence purposes.
Samuel looking long for Kone, and Kone will able to track it down. Plays it back heel, off his heel. Gets inside Conrad Plava, goes down easily. Eric Dobka having none of it, but Burke all the way back to track it down. Poor distribution by Roberts, turned over, but Samuel's able to track it down again and get it back for the boys in blue. Scooped up over and looking for Hurd, but Mayer was well positioned. Najim skips inside. Plays it to Hurd, but Hurd was a little bit behind him. He couldn't corral it. Corral's able to keep it in their zone, though. Nice dummy. Laid off by Kone. 1-2 in his shot. Was he looking for a little bit of a curler there?
Yeah, I mean, I think he got caught with too much momentum going into that shot. He wasn't expecting that immediate right-footed pass from Najim, which was great, but he has to be alert. He unfortunately got caught on the a little uncomfortable side of that.
Chambers and Mirkowicz going at it again. They had a yellow card exchange earlier on. There, Mirkowicz called for a little bit of a high elbow, setting up a free kick for Jones again. As we tick down to the final few minutes here of the 90. Jones drives this one in. Foul call before any action in the mixer could even happen. Hugh Roberts, the culprit, playing with Richmond 3 seasons prior to this. Again, he was a USL Best 11 defender last year. He was nominee for Defensive Player of the Year last year with Richmond. Headed out by Dalgard. Look, he says he was looking for Appia, but wasn't really around him. Matt Real stepping through defenders, finding Burke. Burke turned it over, and then Real handled it.
Things are getting heated in the last couple of minutes. We're going to finalize this season with their best efforts.
See Bethlehem trying to push the pace here. They do want to win this game. Again, a win puts them into the 6th seed. They would play Tampa Bay. If this result holds, they will be the 8th seed. They will play Lou City FC, the #1 overall seed in the Eastern Conference. They're going to have just over 3 minutes to turn the tables here, as we're being told it's 3 minutes of stoppage time plus the remaining 20 seconds here. Foul picked up there by Tyler David as he kind of ran over Kone, which will lead to another free kick in a spot that could hurt St. Louis.
There's situations for Bethlehem that they want to take full advantage of. These are set pieces that are, in my opinion, always a great advantage. Potentially get a goal in.
Official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. Official time will be kept on the field.
Samuel gets ahead to it. It just kind of fell for Trusty, but he wasn't able to really do anything with it.
Free kick. I mean, that was a good attempt. But yeah, I mean, ricocheted. Just a little bit of a fumble there.
Nice quick feet by Dalgard, the goal scorer. Able to work himself out of some trouble, lay it off to Rudolph. Rudolph in acres of space now. Gets it back to his right foot, tries to drive it across, deflected by Roberts. Laid out to Mirkowicz. Mirkowicz tries to play the pass over to Appia, picked off by Real.
Good work by Real there.
And Burke kind of went in haphazardly, a little recklessly to Jack Mayer. It looks like he caught him with a high boot. And that'll be a yellow for Burke's trouble.
Not sure about that. That seemed a little unintentional there.
The yellow card is going to set Bethlehem Steel number 41, Corey Burke. Yellow card is set in the 90th minute.
Dangerous play, but it's no unintentional in my opinion. If we look at it again, I mean, both of them are going blindly to the ball. No one's really aiming for a body there, so Burke intentionally went for the ball there, but unfortunately he caught the hip of Mayer.
Played out wide to Dalgard. Working on Real, 2 goal scorers. Dalgard tries to get end line. Skips around, but it does roll out. Jake McGuire hustling to get this thing back in play as we are inching closer to the 93-minute mark. Mandatory minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time here. Samuel flicks on. Kone's able to settle. Samuel making his run to the midfield. Kone was looking for him, but didn't put enough on it. Jones heads it back into the fray. Najim to Hurd. Hurd gets a quick turn, looking to get end line. Heavy last touch takes him out of play. And we've hit the 3-minute mark. Whistles in Eric Dopka's mouth, and there it is. The final game of the regular season for Bethlehem Steel at home ends in a 1-1 draw. They are locked into the 8th seed. They will be playing next week against Lou City FC, the 1 seed. Matt Real's equalizer in the 35th minute was enough to get them right back in at Albert, but not enough, obviously, in the end for them to get over the hump.
I feel like this outcome is fair. I mean, I know Burke had several chances as we see him here. Several shots, like 2 shots, 7 shots on goal. But hey, Bethlehem, they're going to go and play their best soccer next week against one of the best teams in the league. So we'll see how this turns out.
They had the opportunity to move up to the 6th seed. Brennan Burke's crew could not get it done. They are the 8th seed. We'll be back to break it down from Goodman Stadium after the break.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
It begins with a click. And no matter where you are, you have countless choices at your fingertips. On the road, on your break, even in your own backyard. A world of entertainment is just a click away. Simply go to sectv.com/TVE to get started. Service Electric, connecting you to everything that matters, no matter where you are.
Sara Lee Artisano. It's no ordinary bread. It's born from the question, what's next for sliced bread? And we quickly found the answer was an everyday artisan-style bread with wholesome, rich ingredients, as well as the soft texture you love, cut thick with a dash of flour dusting. Taste firsthand how Artisano turns even the simplest meals you make mouth-wateringly memorable. Sara Lee Artisano Bakery Bread. Make the routine remarkable.
Albert Munoz, Dallin Cuff here, back to wrap things up at Goodman Stadium. The final between Bethlehem and St. Louis, 1-1, both goals scored in the first half. Bethlehem ends the season as the 8th seed. They did make the playoffs, but could not move up because they could not get a winner. But they were creating a lot of chances in the first half.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of highlights here from Santimoro and Burke in the first half. Several chances just being created by these 2 players. And throughout the first half, you had a lot of opportunities from both sides. And here you see the costly mistake that we had from Bethlehem, which was greatly taken advantage by Dalgard. And we're up 1-0 here by St. Louis.
Yeah, Dalgard jumps on this ball. Bad clearance by the foot, a couple times with the head. No communication with McGuire, and he's there to capitalize and get the goal. Put them up 1-0 in the 34th minute. But this response by a young team, and particularly just Matt Real, really impressive in like 15 seconds.
Absolutely. This is what you want from your team. You want that reaction. You want that eagerness. And this is what he gave to us. Beautiful left foot strike, low to the post. Very difficult for him to stop here from
Dvalagoric had a pretty good day. He made a number of really big saves. This one he could not keep out of his own net. 1-1 would be the score at the 35th minute and into the halftime break. Second half, a little bit of a different story, maybe more even in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, the whole game was fought pretty evenly, but the second half was definitely a little different. You had a lot of opportunities from both sides, and St. Louis gave up some mistakes here and some counters, and Burke was literally all over the place, creating and also taking shots on goal.
There's Kone making that back post run, but just could not get there in time, and it goes out of play. And Burke was all over the place. He did a number of things well and showed his speed here and almost able to hook up a goal there, and later on he hit the post.
Yeah, a little frustrating for him tonight because, I mean, as you mentioned, he had literally 4 or 5 attempts. He had 7 shots on goal today, and he didn't miss goals, but he hit the post on this one, and this is the closest one he had.
Good look. I'm shocked that did not hit the post and go in at its pace. And then we have the possibility for the appeal for a penalty. I'm sure Brendan Burke will have a couple words to the official, Eric Dopka, after this, because you take a look at Conrad Pleva, loses his footing and just kind of stuck his foot right into Moar's legs.
Yeah, now that we see that 2 or 3 times in the replay, it's definitely a very difficult call there.
So this is it, folks. We are locked in. The 2017 USL regular season in the books. And here are your matchups. Lou City will take on Bethlehem as the 1-8 game to round out that side of the bracket. The 4-5 Rochester will host Charlotte. On the other side, Charleston takes on Red Bulls 2, last year's champs, against Tampa Bay Rowdies, the 3 seed, against FC Cincinnati, the 6. Who is your favorite, Albert, coming out of the East?
Well, I definitely did enjoy Red Bulls this season, and Tampa Bay has a great team. It's going to be interesting to see. Rochester is also a very entertaining team to watch. Louisville, of course, I don't have a favorite. I can't be biased to any team, but I just want good soccer to be played, and I want the best team to win.
That is called living life on the fence right there, my friend. All right, maybe next week we'll get you to pick one. Thank you very much, Albert. Good stuff, as always, from Goodman Stadium. I am Dallin Cuff. The final here is 1-1. Matt Real, great response to a Sebastian Dalgard goal. 2 goals in less than a minute. Not a one after the next 89, but it was a tightly contested game to finish the regular season. And our man over here is going to be dancing because that's where his team is going. To the playoffs next week, they'll be playing against Lou City. Will they pull off the shock upset? Find out next week. For Albert, I'm Dallin. We'll see you then.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.